Okay, we're looking at another mixture problem, but also how to enter answers into the mixture problem practice assignment. So once you get it opened up, it will you'll be on this screen here, and we're solving 6 problems here, and you're going to put your answers here in the gray boxes. So what I'm going to look at is I know that when I add these things together, I need to get 112 gallons of paint. So that's if I was going to guess, I could say, well, maybe it's 50 and 62. That'd work. But here's the question: does that give you the right amount of pigment for this paint? Okay. So if I was going to guess, I could say, well, maybe it's 60 or 50 and 62. Okay. So that equals 112. Okay. But here's the problem: do I get enough pigment? Okay. I need how much pigment? Well, it's 30%. 30% of 112. So figure out what that is. I've got a calculator here. 30% of 112, that's 33.6. Okay? So I need 112 gallons of paint with 33.6 gallons of pigment. Okay? Let's see if our 50 and 60 does it. Let's see here. So what I can do is try, let's see, it's 12% of 50. So 12% of 50. And I'm going to add that on to 40% of 62. Again, we're using our guesses here. And then let's see how much pigment that is. So if I calculate 12 times 50 plus 0.4 times 62, I get 30.8. Okay. Well, my guess isn't right. Okay, but here's the great thing: because I made a guess, now what I can do is go back and just say, look, let's make this into a plus sign here. Instead of guessing new numbers right here, that I make sure and add it to 112 and then redo this arithmetic, what I'm going to do is leave that there and just say, you know what, let's make A plus B equal to 112. So instead of guessing new numbers, I'm just going to guess letters. Okay, maybe I'll spread this out a little bit so we got some room, and you'll see why in just a bit here. So I want to make A plus B equals 112, but also I want 12% of A plus 40% of B to equal, remember, 33.6. Okay, so if we make this a little cleaner here, then we can maybe see it better. So, so I've got those things, and what am I going to do now to solve that system of equations? Well, what I think I'll do is I'll go up here, and maybe what I'll do is put this in a different color. Nah, forget it. I think I'm going to multiply this equation by 4. Okay, and I think I'm going to multiply this equation by 10. Now, why would I do that? Multiplying this equation by 4 makes that into a 4b. Multiplying this equation by 10 makes this into a 4b as well. And so then when I have both of those being 4b, then when I subtract them, I get b's cancel out. So let's rewrite this as 4a plus 4b equals, let's see, 4 times 112 is going to be 448. Okay, and then down below here, after I multiply this thing by 10, I get 1.2a, and this is also going to be 4b, and then this will be 336. Okay, well now when I subtract, look what happens. I get the b's cancel out, and I get, let's see, 4 minus 1.2 is going to be 2.8a equals, and it doesn't matter where you put the equal sign. I like to kind of line them up just because it looks neat. Let's see, 448 minus 336 is going to be 112. That's interesting. So now when I do 112 divided by 2.8, I get A equals 112 divided by 2.8, I get 40. Okay, so if A is 40, then B is, let's see, 112 minus 40 is 72. Okay, so I would say there's a perfectly good answer right there. A is 40, B is 72. Okay, or to be more accurate, 40 gallons, of 12% and 72 gallons of 40%. Okay, so now we've answered the question. And so you can just leave that. If you want to make it a different color so it stands out better, that's fine. It's in a gray box, so I can tell what your answer is. Then you'll just go down to the next problem and start doing that in the same way.